Welcome to the Salt Circle podcast. My name is Hank. With me, as always, is Ben.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. That's it.
I don't have, got nothing else. It's over.
Yeah.
The answer is done.
Wait, we cue an outro? We just little hello, how you doing?
Yeah, you can email us, saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com.
Oh. Yeah, so I read a comic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a comic. It was not Mr. Marvel, as I called it. That's not what we read.
Nope.
And we didn't read I don't have another pun. I had one, it left my brain. We read Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle.
Tom King's
Miracle.
Mr. Miracle.
Is that what I got it? Hang on. Hold on. Just Tom King's Mr. Miracle. You know, I was trying after I read it to find... Okay, that wouldn't have helped me. I really wanted, like, a plot synopsis to, like, elaborate on some things. It wrapped up fine, and I found my way, but just... I don't know. It's one of those cases where I got done, and I'm like... I would like clarification on some of this.
So it's Mr. Miracle, written by Tom King, illustrated by Mitch Gerads, with lettering by Clayton Cowles. And it finished in 2019, I guess.
So...
I think. Or that's when the trade paperback came out, maybe? I'm not sure about the date exactly.
My plan for this is...
Yeah, so I guess it started in 2017 and finished in 2018.
Okay. I think what's going to happen over the course of this episode is you're going to sell me further on it, and I'm going to come out of this enjoying it more than I do currently. That's how these
Fair
things
enough.
tend to go. It took a while. It took a while to win me over. Like... I don't know. It's such a weird place to describe it. I mean, the art style was certainly unique, but maybe like jarring. Like maybe I might be in the mode where I'm just like not prepared for it. And as I think on it, and as we talk about this, I'll come to appreciate it more. But that intro is very jarring, and I felt confused, but I put the pieces together as it went on. It's pretty dark. Pretty dark shit, generally.
I mean, opens with the main character having slit his wrists in the bathroom. So, not, it's pretty upfront about being dark.
Yeah. I think part of my problem, what I realized like afterwards when I tried to find my coveted plot summary, there's like more Mr. Miracle. Like it seems like this is a thing people would have had some sort of knowledge of going in. Yeah.
Well, that's what the TV panel stuff is before that. That's like the history of the character.
I found it to be not
Before you
enough.
find it.
I mean, I'm also stupid, but like I felt more confused than I thought I would. But it was it was fine. I figured out mostly what was going on. I have like one question.
The important
but
thing
we'll
is
get
that there was a time when the old gods died. Okay.
Yeah. And who are the old gods?
The old gods. So the time the old gods died, that's Ragnarok.
Okay.
Because this is from the New God stuff, which is created by Jack Kirby once he goes to DC. So at Marvel, he did Thor. So now that's over. It's done. He's done with Thor. So those gods are dead, and now he's got new gods.
Okay.
To write about. So we have the old gods died, and now we have the new gods.
Okay. That would have been nice context.
And I mean, it says there came a time when the old gods died in flames.
Well,
Sure.
yeah. And I mean, it's yeah.
So there are two planets out of that fire. There's New Genesis, which is the good world.
The good world, and
There's Apocalypse, which is the bad world that's on fire, that's ruled by Darkseid, and Highfather is the ruler of New Genesis. Mm-hmm. And they spend a long time at war. Just terrible war.
Yep.
But they make a peace treaty with Darkseid proposes that they trade sons, him and Highfather, and then there'll be peace. So Highfather gives up his son, and Darkseid gives up his son, and Highfather's son, raised by Darkseid, grows into scot-free Mr. Miracle, and or who becomes Mr. Miracle, and Darkseid's son is Orion. Mm-hmm. Who gets raised by Highfather. And then eventually they grow up. Scot-free meets Big Barda on Apocalypse, who's trained by Granny Goodness, who's like the head torturer.
Right. Yeah,
the X-Pit.
I was born in the darkness.
And they fall in love and they escape Apocalypse and end up living on Earth.
Big Barda is
helping with New God
thick.
Stuff. She's very tall, also.
Death by Snoo, baby.
So yeah, I get all these characters. They're Jack Kirby characters, and they've been in plenty of DC stuff since. There's lots of story. The Mr. Miracle title actually comes from like a traveling escape artist who dies, and then Scot-Free just takes his identity.
Yeah, he dons the role.
He dons the mantle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then that sort of he goes his job, and so that's the backstory. The big thing. So the first big thing that's I would say different about this portrayal of these characters is Orion is usually depicted as being more heroic.
Okay.
Like he's rough around the edges, but he's not a
giant
big a dick as he is in this.
Yeah.
And he's not the villain. Like the big thing this does is this asks the question of, like, puts it to you like, should Highfather have made the deal? Whereas no other version really ever questions whether the deal of trading sons was the right thing to make.
Gotcha.
The right thing to do.
So I think my biggest issue, like where I felt the most lost, was in some of these character interactions, like the stuff with Orion and everything. I suppose maybe that's like the deal, is that you're kind of like thrown into it. And I don't know, for me, I feel like it's a case where if I went back to it, it might feel better now that I have like the whole picture. But I don't know, not understanding these characters as much was a bit off-putting. But and I'm curious, of course, as to what's your draw to this, because you've talked pretty highly. The thing that stood out to me that was like cool as hell to watch, and I think I enjoyed more as it went on, was watching like they're just trying to do normal everyday shit, but they're also like in the middle of all this crazy bullshit in another world.
Yeah.
That was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, so I wrote a review of this on my Tumblr at some point.
Okay.
Shortly after I read it, and like the whole framing of that thing I wrote was around starting with Darkseid, who's like, the thing about he's a great Kirby character, because the thing about Darkseid is he's both metaphor and he's a literal thing. He's both the dark side of everything, and he's just an evil rock monster in space in a skirt. Like he's both of those things. He's both metaphor and he's this physical imposing being. And like the way that ends up manifesting in a lot of my favorite Darkseid stuff is you come home and Darkseid is sitting in your chair or on your couch. Like he's just sitting there in your house when you get home,
just fucking chilling.
Like there was this comedy series, Ambush Bug, is making fun of that, where just every issue ended with Darkseid being in a place. Just where the picture of Darkseid at McDonald's.
Oh fuck yeah!
That I've used a lot comes from. Darkseid is just there handing Ambush Bug his McDonald's order.
Yeah, but
and like this series takes that idea of like that thing of like these characters just be like Darkseid being on your couch, and applies it to the whole New Gods thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's both like these are superheroes who fight in this war, but also they're normal people, and they get food trays and they have normal human problems. Like this is just what happens to be their job.
Yeah,
fighting in a space war. So that felt very appropriate to me as a way to take these characters.
Mm-hmm.
For one thing. No,
the bit with
just
like
in terms of premise.
Like we need a veggie tray.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And that part specifically got me thinking. I think here at Salt Circle Podcast, we should incorporate more veggie trays into our episodes, or like a little spread, some cheese, some meat, some dip. I could go for some dip, dude. Starving. And then literally when they're on the couch, like for his fucking trial or whatever, like you get to dictate the spot. Like, can't we just do it here?
Mm-hmm.
So that stuff was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And it kept me guessing, like when they were specifically when they're going back and forth and they're raising their son, and they're like alternating shifts fighting the war or whatever. Like, I was ready for someone to die. I was fully prepared, because this comic did not let up. It did not ever feel like it was going to be a happy ending necessarily, at least to me.
Yeah, no, like the stakes are pretty, like in that first issue when Highfather dies, that's like sort of sets up that like stuff's gonna happen in this story.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna kind of break the status quo.
Yeah.
And then that proves true with the stuff with Granny. Like, it sort of makes good on the thing of Orion being a dick, with then him being a terrible leader.
Mm-hmm. Dude.
And the thing with
the stuff with Granny. Stuff with Granny was so interesting. Like when they were talking about and it comes up various times, of course, like, like, did you, I forget the exact, like, quotes, like, did you love her or whatever? Did you think she cared for you or something? Yeah. And then that combined, like, again, just like this casual, like, horrifying shit, but then it's mixed with, like, what was our song? Like, oh, could you put on the Screams of the Damned, please? Which ones? well, the damned from X pit in the year whatever, and they're just like sitting in the car, and it's just people fucking screaming like, oh,
That's
what
what they have nostalgia for. That was their childhood.
Yeah, what a fucking bit though. God, that'd be horrifying.
Yeah.
It's like black metal but worse.
Because it does a great job of like the way humans normalize things, like, but applied to these superheroes who were tortured their whole childhood. It's just like you can play out like normal conversations people have, but it's that much more horrific because the things that they experienced were that bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like a way to talk about like normal trauma that works for me better because you're not dealing with human level trauma, you're dealing with superhero level trauma.
Yeah.
I just find it more compelling storytelling, personally.
So, if I recall right, you mentioned that this was like kind of the next big thing-ish. I forget how you phrased it, but didn't you compare it to like sort of like Watchmen? Like people were talking about this and it was like making some rounds or something.
Yeah, like I think it won the Eisner Award. Like it was highly regarded at the time, and like I mean, and it's similar to Watchmen just in that it's taking superhero stuff and mixing it with, real world, like real. It's trying to like do more with the characters by bringing them closer to like the real world in the way that Watchmen was in like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But this is doing it for modern times. Like this is building on more where we are now than Watchmen is anymore. Watchmen feels dated in a way that this didn't when it was coming out.
Yeah. I did notice the similarity with the what is it, nine even panels on a page?
Yeah, also it's 9 panel grid the whole way through, yeah. That's the other similarity.
I opened the book and I started reading and I said to myself, "You've got to be gridding me." Uh-huh. It's funny, damn it. Just jealousy.
Man.
I thought of it first.
Metron shows up yelling about how you must not see the face of God.
Who the fuck is okay, that bit confused me. Who's Metron? What's his deal? We got nothing from him. He's just there.
He's the seeker of knowledge.
Okay. See, like the dudes in Spider-Verse that like watch the universe or whatever? A watcher?
Oh, the Watcher. He's not like that far off, but he's generally more of a character, I guess.
Okay.
Sometimes.
And
I can't remember what he's like in actual Kirby comics. I remember him more from other stuff. The thing I will say is, so that Jim Starlin, who created Thanos, his first version of Thanos was just Metron, and then the person looked at his drawing and was like, if you're just gonna rip off the New Gods, why don't you rip off the fucking popular one in Darkseid? So then Jim Starlin started drawing more like Darkseid. But Thanos also like sits in a hover chair the way Metron does.
okay.
So like Thanos is kind of like Metron plus Darkseid.
So and a bit with Metron is like
he's a passive look, he's an observer more than, he's doing stuff. He's not that far off from the Watcher, yeah.
Okay. Wow, I misinterpreted that then. I thought he was going to be like the actual villain behind everything. Specifically, my confusion comes from the bit where he shows up and we get that panel showing like the Justice League.
Yeah.
What was that about? I misunderstood all of that. I had to read it a few times and it didn't help.
That's like
he was
like
showing
how that's like the real DC universe or whatever, or like main continuity.
Okay.
Rather than this. So like a story, where things are like normal superhero stuff instead of, you know, the way this deals with
And what was the
reality.
purpose of
Kind of
showing him that? That was what I
Well,
ultimately
that
didn't
he
get.
could, that he had the choice to leave this world and go there, but he chooses to stay in the
Okay. See that?
this world rather than like
Okay.
escape to the world where the some of that
It's fluffier.
trauma stuff doesn't exist.
Fluffier.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
Okay.
More
So
on brand.
I guess I understood that. So honing in on what my actual question is, I suppose. Why does he suddenly have this choice? It felt like it came out of nowhere. Like Metron just pops up and he's like, "Yo, do you want to go to Fluffy World?" Because like that's kind of what I thought happened. I just didn't understand
like,
why it happened at this point, or if I missed something that led up to it.
Darkseid died and the story ended. It's kind of it's more of a meta thing happening.
Okay. I'll just
Like he reached the end of his story and then, you know,
Gwenpool
he got
shit.
tied into an event or whatever. It's not like incredibly explicit. It's kind of
Okay.
just, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't like miss something entirely, because I was worried.
Yeah.
I was worried. But no, the yeah, everything with Granny was great. That bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Misdirection, I suppose. Yeah, I'll you know what? I'm gonna stick with misdirection. Like where there's that bit, and this leading into the trial as well. Where they go talk to Granny, and Granny's like blaming Orion, and all of that kind of leading up to the little exchange with Orion and Scott, where he's like just asking him the question, or he's saying the statements, and he's just looking for true or false, and that whole like I forget what they all exactly were, but it's like, do you think could you be an agent of Darkseid, or you could be an agent of Darkseid? True.
Yeah.
If you were an agent, you might not know that you're an agent. True. And then like that transitioning to like, you think I'm a traitor working for Darkseid? True. And then like, you think this because you hate me? True. that whole fucking thing, and even like
Yeah.
how their decision in that one particular section is like in my brain, where it's just the same exact frame of his face, and it's so it was so good. It was so good. Like that scene hit. That was a very, very well done exchange. I really enjoyed it.
I love the trial.
It's so good.
The trial was probably the first time the book like really clicked in for me. Because it's top tier, with him told to sit, and then he sits in the chair with the chair facing backwards.
Yeah.
The one panel with Orion not saying anything, and then he goes, good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the fucking veggie tray bit.
Dude, I'm gonna
so
get a carrot. Just dips for a second.
Uh-huh.
It's so good.
So there's like, okay, so the thing that definitely didn't over your head is like there's a reading of this argument
Okay.
where like the reason Orion is like this pure, like the way he is in this, of like things are only black and white, can be if you can mirror him onto Steve Ditko, who created Spider-Man and is like the other big Marvel artist along with Kirby, he was an objectivist.
Okay.
So like there's a way of seeing this as like Ditko versus Kirby in this trial, where this like fucked up A is A argument versus, you know, humanity, emotion and feeling. So that's just a level. So because there's a whole part of this that's like a tribute to Kirby, not just, but also like specifically Marvel Kirby, which comes back later with the comic Jacob and Funky Flashman, right?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
Jacob is named for his grandfather, which would be Highfather's father, which is Jack Kirby.
Ah.
And Funky Flashman was Jack Kirby's parody of Stan Lee that he created. That's why he's always saying Excelsior.
Excelsior, and what was the other one? Hello, Super Fans or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognized a couple of those.
So the comic they create, I love so much. The fucking the golden retriever instead of the Silver Surfer. And then like Star Killer.
Hell yeah. Oh,
Star Eating God. And it's like, and the way Funky Flashman's like, no, it's his story. I do the words. He provides all the imaginations. I talk plenty.
Yeah.
I really love that.
I like that they
tribute to that's like that's like presented as like the meaning of life is the fucking this version of the Galactus story.
Dude, the shift to like the children's art style was so good. Just like shitty.
Yeah.
It was a great
Batman
bit.
is
Yeah.
Instead of the Fantastic Four, it's Batman.
So the other thing that I like, I don't know. I recognize that there's a lot of stuff here that you can kind of take how you want, as is any kind of media really. But the other thing that I kind of wanted maybe more clarification on or something, if there is any to be had, was the recurring theme or bit or whatever with seeing the face of God and knowing God. Like, because at one point Orion's like, I've seen God, and that was implying that it was Darkseid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know. I was kind of
I mean, they're the new gods, so it's kind of like can be whoever. Like that's
okay.
The playing on it is kind of like
See,
it can be all these different things.
This would have been.
They're literally all gods.
See, that's what like they said new gods, but like I didn't. I guess I wasn't sure for the whole thing, like how literal that was. Like obviously people knew of them, but and I saw like Big Barda, like she's like taking a dip in the lake of fire or whatever, the fire flake lake, and. I don't know. I guess it's probably obvious, and I should have like put it together better. But they never, like it said, Scott is one of these, but they didn't exactly explain it. So I'm like, how invincible is he? Like, is he invincible? Is he this? Like, I don't know. I was just never sure on that. So I didn't know how literal to take the term new god, I suppose. Which of course provides a lot of
gods
understanding.
in the same way Marvel Comics Thor is a god, in that they're like aliens who live out in space.
Yeah. And I'm just not. I wasn't sure if that's where I should be going with this, but it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I mean that helps.
Yeah. But it's just playing with it. It's really they're just. Space aliens.
Yeah.
It's called gods, but they're called gods. So you treat them with certain. You can do stuff with that metaphorically or whatever. and they're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big shout out for them.
Like there's Grant Morrison stories with the New Gods where like the New Gods end and then they all get resurrected into different people on Earth. Which is like people have done weird stuff with the.
I mean, that
the New
sounds
Gods.
interesting. I was very glad that there was not a Rorschach character. That was neat.
I mean,
Edge Lords.
yeah, like the closest thing is probably Orion.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But like,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
again, Rorschach is based on The Question, who was a Steve Ditko character.
I mean, I could see someone. I could see some edgelord like quoting the entirety of the trial scene and like being all smarmy about it or whatever.
Yeah.
The cool line that they kept coming back to. Well, line is maybe a bit strong, but I love just the simplicity and I guess like strength of just the whole like dark side is very good. And like, I don't know, early on especially, like that was, I think that even just initially, like that was something that drew me in. Like I forget what the exact context was, but I just know that like it pops up and then it starts becoming more frequent and then it just like, you know, it builds to this thing and it was really, really, really good. Like that was,
Yeah.
it's such
and
a simple line.
And it's like the whole story ends up being built around it because like the catharsis at the end is, and we are too at the very end.
Yeah.
But we are too, because like even after you, I love how this ends with even you even kill Darkseid, but he's still just there on your couch.
Yeah.
Because he's not just this evil space rock monster. He's also like the darkness inside of people.
Yeah, no, I'm playing with like those.
You know, why every time they're having a negative thought early on, that's like showing the dark side is.
Yeah, and playing on those anxieties and stuff.
Yeah. When Big Party just says dark side is.
Yeah.
After like he's like, yeah, I meant to go to the grocery store.
Dark side is
to like get a new remote control.
Oh yeah,
Jacob put it in the washing machine, in the dishwasher. She's just like, dark side is.
No, it was God. I mean, again, it's just that blend of casual fucking whatever combined with like that trauma. It's so well done. And
yeah, that's definitely the thing.
I
also just love Funky Flashman in this.
Funky
comic.
Flash was, dude, the bit where he's like, okay, so here's how we're gonna spin this. You tried to kill yourself to escape death once, and you want a rematch, okay? So you look into the camera here, and you say like, whatever fucking line, and he's like walking him through how we're gonna spin this execution so that it's not like a PR disaster. It was so fucking good, dude. Oh, yeah. And I mean, like, I'm probably a bit biased, but like anyone whose name is Funky is, you know, they're good in my book. Funky Kong, best of the Kongs.
Pretty good.
Not sure if I'd want him nannying for my child, but whatever. No judgment. No judgment here.
It's gotta be someone.
I think maybe my least favorite bit of this was the birth scene, or that whole like little bit. I don't know what exactly it was. I can't point to anything, and there were good moments in it. But overall, maybe I'm just not a fan of like that sort of story bit. Like, oh, she's giving birth or whatever. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a way that I've enjoyed seeing that play out. I mean, it's fitting. I thought the part where the the umbilical cord is like wrapped around the kid, and they're like, I can't cut it. It's like steel. Get the diamond saw, please. Like, we need the diamond bone saw.
Uh-huh.
And they just have the
They have to.
special knife.
Yeah, they have to set up the knife so that they
yeah.
can
It was good.
pay it off later. I also just like the Furies hanging out in the fucking
Yeah, just
waiting
chilling.
room.
I'm gonna kill you with this knife when we return to fighting. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
In-laws.
The one that's like always rhyming. Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Calm down. Very casual. I'm not letting them in the room, right? Like, they're at the hospital. That's enough. No, that was I mean, yeah, that, and of course they were like the best bit of that, but otherwise, birthing sequences not my jam. There's too many. There's too many lasting serial unfriendly moments and implications.
Oh yeah, because there's nothing else serial unfriendly in this book.
I think that's the peak serial unfriendly thing. Name something that's more serial unfriendly than the birth scene or birth deal. Fluids. Fucking fat placenta
There's like the
implied.
baby parademon that then they murder.
Oh, that's fine. My serial unfriendliness is, I think my bar is higher when it's a comic. But birth is gross. People are too fucking disgusting. I don't like how we enter this world. No wonder some religions say that we're all filthy irreparably. Because we are. Newborns are gross. Yeah, I'll take your silence as tentative agreement. Thank you, Hank.
Uh-huh. I mean, that wasn't my favorite issue of the series by any means, but it's important. You got they're having a kid. That's never happened before. These characters that have been around for a long time.
You know what? If I'm thinking about it, I just realized, like, it gave me a vibe, like their whole deal with parenthood, and I realized what it kind of reminded me of. A little bit of Saga. Like, just that sort of deal, like, we're bringing a kid into the world, and now we have to deal with all this shit.
Yeah. We're dealing with intergalactic war, but also,
baby
a kid. It's another thing.
The other
thing
okay, go.
I just didn't know if you notice, like, the end of issue narration stuff, how it didn't seem to have to do with anything.
Yeah, just like it's
because
narrator TV show.
That's the narration from the original Mr. Miracle series.
Okay.
Like, from each corresponding issue.
I mean, I thought it was just a little off. Thought it was a stylistic choice. Okay. That makes sense. That puts a
stylistic choice, but also it's like literal Kirby narration from the original series that had a very different plot.
Yeah, I thought it was a stylistic choice in the sense that, like, they just choose to write it that way, but it's like actual quotes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, that part I didn't know, or I didn't pick up on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. The war negotiations were great. Where they're like meeting with, was that like Shakespeare or someone? Like there was like a medieval poet or whatever who was trying to bang Leonardo da Vinci. They're taking the super long piss in the pit.
That's just one of the dudes on Apocalypse.
Okay.
I forget his name.
Looked like give it okay.
Yeah,
but
that's just a Jack Kirby character.
those bits were great, and when the big like demon dude or whatever is trying to ruffle them all up, and Scott's like, "Bud, I was raised here. I'm not some fucking new Genesis pansy. Fucking granny raised me. We're doing it this way." It's like, whatever. That's good shit. I love that sort of interaction.
When he takes out his glasses.
Yeah. He has the like rose or purple shades or whatever.
Yeah.
Real good. And then when they're figuring like, oh shit. What was the guy's name? Light Ray?
Yeah.
Light Ray. Were we on the new Genesis calendar for the true production? Light Ray is like, he just fucking loses it and he yells at him. It's just awkward. It's so good. Like, they're just in the middle of the go like, fuck you guys, we're getting whatever. Everyone's just silent, like, dude, fuck off.
Shut the fuck up.
Sits back down and they're like, all right, so we'll just assume that we're using the new Genesis calendar, and when we get to that red line, blah blah blah. Like, what a great moment. Yeah, I think this is one. Oh, just leaned a certain way and like destroyed my entire back. Jesus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Fuck me. This is one that I want to like get back to, I think. Maybe even more so, like, I think I'd maybe said that about Watchmen as well, but I think even more so for this one. I like this one off the bat. I think I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed Watchmen, even though I think Watchmen was more understandable from the perspective of like, you didn't, the characters didn't exist before, like there's nothing I could possibly be missing. And with this, as soon as I kind of realized that there was like already these characters had been established elsewhere, that just immediately makes me feel like I'm a bit out of my element. But I think
I thought about
like
telling you more of the backstory stuff, but I kind of just wanted to see what you would think of it without having that background. I kind of used you as an experiment. To see how much, because like honestly, it doesn't have that much to do with it other than, you know, Big Bart has always been awesome.
That seems pretty clear. That makes sense. No, and it's not like I need it.
Like the stuff is there. It's just like if you blow by that intro stuff that gives you the backstory, like I can see how that would.
I didn't even see. I didn't even. Maybe I'm just like, it's my own insecurities with comics or whatever, or these like established universes and shit. Like, I read it, it just felt like it wasn't enough. But maybe I'm probably just like too paranoid that I'm going to miss too much, and then because I'm paranoid, I end up not getting the full shit anyway. No, it's like reading this without the context for characters and all of that stuff is like watching Wonder Woman in Russian. You still know what's going on, mostly.
Because I mean, even the original New God story like opens with like the first page is like epilogue. It's like there came a time when the new gods died, or when the old gods died. It literally, the original story opens with epilogue on the first page.
Great. I'm glad they didn't do that. That would have confused me more.
Here, I'll send you that first page.
Oh man.
I think I've showed you this before.
Probably.
Like, this is how all of the New God stuff starts.
All right, what do we got here? There came a time when the old gods died. Sure enough. Yeah. This doesn't look familiar. Yeah. I mean, this looks like Ragnarok. A lot of death.
Like, and then you just get Orion's face.
Then there was new light. Wild. Oh shit. No, okay, that is his face. That's a big Orion face.
Yeah.
Man. That's such a specific color scheme, I guess. I don't know. It's just interesting to me how, like, I can look at those, just the colors is enough. I can be like, yo, got some. I didn't see any dates. I want to say like late, what like 70s, mid 70s.
I think so. I think New God's in the 70s.
Comic master over here.
Yeah.
I know comics.
1970.
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, you know, once you read Watchmen, you basically know comics. It takes a lot of prior comic knowledge to understand Watchmen, so.
Uh-huh.
Eventually I'll have, I mean, I've already mentioned before how I got to unleash my Watchmen knowledge on Reddit once. I was a god for a day.
Hell yeah.
You know, over the course of us doing this podcast, eventually my goal is to be able to do that with all comics. Naturally. Like, if someday they announce a Gwenpool movie, you bet your ass
Hell
I'll be in
yeah.
those comments being a smug piece of shit to anyone who dares suggest that some tiny inaccuracy is a good thing in the film. Be like, well, actually, if you would check out Gwenpool, I don't know, 24? Was there 24 issues? I hope there was 24 issues. If you check out Gwenpool 24, you'll notice that if they had done this, it would have led into a better plot line. Darkseid looks ridiculous. God, he's just so fucking ridiculous. I think actually
He's the revelation. He's the Tiger Force at the
Dude.
core of all things.
he stood out so much in this comic. Like,
Yeah, man.
everyone else was all like gritty and dope, and it looks like they just lifted him straight from the 70s and plopped him down into 2018 or whatever.
Yeah. So Darkseid is like probably the most overused New Gods character because they use him as like the big bad for so many like DC events stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many Justice League stories that's like, and it's Darkseid, they fight, but like Darkseid's so much better when he's like plotting and like you're building to him. Because at the end of the day, when you have this pure evil character, if like Superman's just he's gonna punch him and he's gonna win, like that's just how that happens. So like there's not actually an interesting story there. Like it's cool to see Superman punch him, but there's only what I like about this is it finds the catharsis at the end of a you beat Darkseid story in the And We Are Two, like counter to the Darkseid is thing. Because the problem with a lot of Darkseid stories is like you punch Darkseid and you beat the rock monster, but like you didn't beat the existential part of the character. The Darkseid isn't like they don't come up with an answer for that. They just
Can't
beat the big rock dude.
You can't punch your feelings.
Like, literally, the 90s Superman animated series just ends with Superman beating the shit out of Darkseid, and then, like, the people, like, on Apocalypse who are, like huddle towards him and, like, carry him off. And he's like, to them, I am God.
Yeah.
And Superman just has to leave. Be like, well, that sucked.
Great.
And it's like, this is well animated punching, but, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I guess I didn't know, like, I'd never heard of him in my entire life.
Oh, Darkseid?
Yeah. Like, he looked kind of familiar, but he looked like,
Thanos.
Is it who I'm thinking of?
Thanos is just a Darkseid knockoff, really. It's funny that Thanos is now a bigger character because of the movies.
Yeah. With the hood,
like, realistically,
I was trying to remember. The hood definitely threw me off. I was like,
yeah,
is this like what Doctor Doom looks like without the mask thing? Like, this looks familiar. I just can't.
He's also a Jack Kirby character, so sure.
But I was just
pretty.
He looked familiar, but I just couldn't
Doom is
like
a better
place
character.
where I'd seen him.
Yeah.
In my heart, Darkseid is, and that's why I recognized him.
I can't even. I don't think they actually put him in that Justice League movie. He's definitely referenced because they referenced New God stuff in that movie.
I mean, all we have to do is he. Okay, no, that's Doctor Doom. Is he a? Nope, that's the Thing. Maybe I'm thinking of the Thing.
Maybe you're thinking of the Thing. He is also a rock monster.
Probably it's just in my brain, like some weird.
Created by Jack Kirby.
I mean, he's basically the Thing in Doctor Doom's outfit, right? Wearing a hood.
Yeah,
sorta.
sure. They both wear a skirt. You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
Yeah. That's how I identify villains.
They both. I don't think. Yeah, neither of them have sleeves.
There you go.
They both have shirts that are sleeveless
I mean, if you're walking down the street
and have a skirt.
yeah, see, that's the combo. You're walking down the street, you see some bro in a sleeveless shirt and a skirt. Just fuck him up. Just beat the shit out of him right there, because you're gonna be correct. You get to court, and you're like, I have proof that this man deserved to get his shit kicked in. You show a picture of Darkseid and Doctor Doom from the waist up, and the judge is like, I don't. This is, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. And then you follow it up with a sucker punch, a shot of both of them from the waist down to the skirt, and the judge is like, not guilty. Fucking easy peasy. I hope this happens now. I wonder if that's a combination. I think I've seen, like, there's some sort of fashion thing that's like kind of like a skirt, but it's not an actual skirt for dudes. I can't think of what it is. It looked kind of like a hoodie hanging down almost. It's weird. If I see that and some dude in a tank top out and about. Adi, we gotta get out of here.
I mean, Doctor Doom, the hoodie part fits with Doctor Doom too. So.
Yeah. I don't trust these guys. You can't just wear a skirt like that. Be like, she'll have to ask what I'm talking about, and I'll refuse to tell her, as usual. I don't know, man. That is one thing. I think we talked about this before. Like, if they had kept Thanos with his original look, but in the films, like just this wonky little dude. I'm gonna type it in right now. Original Thanos. Yeah. Yeah. This picture. First result on Google Images for original Thanos. That's some fucking dark side shit.
I don't know what specific image you're looking at.
I'll just hit you with it. Literally, I typed in original Thanos, and the first picture on Google from /film.com is just...
Yeah, that's like not original Thanos, but it's like
I
close to his original design.
I figure, but it looks a lot like just a recolor of Darkseid from this version of Mr. Miracle anyway.
Yeah. So here's the first drawing Jim Starlin ever did of Thanos. It's literally just Metron.
Fuck yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I recognize the outfit for sure. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like looking, there's like...
This is like the first time Thanos actually showed up in a comic. He looked like this.
Okay. Ew. Janky. I mean, they should have kept that outfit for the films.
So then eventually he came to look more like this.
Okay. Man, there's all these images of Thanos, like modern era Thanos from the films. All of them look...
Dude, the movies ruin all comics SEO. They like completely absorb all of it.
I mean, it's like trying to find fucking fan art of Lord of the Rings from beforehand. That's not Alan Lee. All of these look bad to me. Like I haven't watched any of the films that he's actually in where you can see his face. All of these look like a joke. They look photoshopped. Every single one of these pictures of Thanos, and I'm pretty sure they're just the real ones, it looks fucking fake as hell. It just looks wrong to me. So weird.
I mean, it's just Josh Brolin with CGI.
Maybe that's why.
Except for, I think, the first time they showed him as like a stinger. They hadn't actually cast an actor for it yet.
Is that where he's like on the throne on the moon or whatever shit? Or on some space
It's
rock?
like just the side of his face smiling. I think by the time he's sitting on the throne, they'd cast Josh Brolin.
What is his first...
Maybe.
What's the first time... Do you remember when we first hear him talk? I think, like, I'm thinking of the first time he's introduced.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy. Is like
Guardians of the...
Yes.
Yes. That's where I have... Like, that's the only time I remember encountering him in a movie that I saw. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's like, before that, it was just, there was a stinger at the end of Avengers, I think.
I just... Ugh. I'm disappointed again. I still remember how excited I was for Guardians of the Galaxy because I didn't know anything about comics, and I was like, sweet, got a cool superhero style film.
There's a tree character in it.
There's a tree character, and this is the best part. I don't know how I missed it. I looked down, I guess, at some point. Maybe I was turning off my phone or making sure my phone was off or like looking for the popcorn. The best part, I'm like, and it's not Marvel, baby. I truly did not know, and I somehow like missed it or something. Like I didn't realize that this was Marvel,
baby.
Well, because who the fuck
100%.
before that film came out, who knew about Guardians of the Galaxy and the average public?
I mean, I did.
Nobody. You're not average public.
I knew about the Guardians of the Galaxy before they were the team that is the version of them that's in the movie, which is from like the 2000s. I think it's like a 2008 story or some Annihilation. I don't remember when that was written.
Yeah, no, that taught me to check fucking everything. Is it from a comic now? Other things I've been fooled by. Constantine, part of a comic. It's from a comic series.
It is. I mean, they pronounce his name wrong in that movie compared to what it is in the comic, but yes.
What's the difference?
Like Constantine versus Constantine.
What?
The movie is wrong. It's just
The movie says
it's
Constantine,
British.
right? I swear they said Constantine in the film.
Whatever they say in the film, they're wrong.
There's no way it's
That's all I
Constantine.
remember. Yeah.
I hope it's not. Constantine is like gross. It feels wrong saying it. It's like saying Illinois. Like you're reading the word, but you're not saying it right. Ugh. There was another one. Oh, Blade. Blade. I also didn't know that's definitely a comic thing. I think that one's also sort of a. I think my understanding of Blade, and to be fair, I watched it when I was not small, but definitely younger, and certainly well before our current era of superhero films was in full swing. But I think I assumed, like, because of course the DC, right? Blade?
Blade is Marvel.
Marvel? Okay. So the Marvel logo would have come up, but I think my assumption was that, like, they were involved in, like, creating the film or, like, publishing or something, like, that it was Marvel, but that it wasn't from a comic. I thought it was just a new thing, you know?
Like, Blade is a big part of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
I don't have 90. My options for cartoons have always been Arthur, Cyber Chase, and whatever else PBS Kids is pumping out. PBS Kids. I didn't watch any stuff.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know. Blade.
Yeah,
was
no, like there's all this stuff that's
super
been
Marvel.
There's all this stuff that's
Incredibly
been
Marvel.
like, it's a thing, and I don't know. I kept missing it. Guardians of the Galaxy is a little, less excuse with that
It's
one.
just hilarious that you were like excited for it and were excited that it wasn't Marvel.
I was excited for a superhero film that wouldn't tie into all the stupid Marvel bullshit. Surprise.
That movie really ties into it too.
I
It's
mean,
like
yeah, as
establishing stupid Marvel bullshit.
it fucking turns out. That was one of the only. I was so pumped. You don't even know. That was like the only superhero movie I owned.
There's a tree person and two of the characters are green.
I know. It's the only superhero film I owned on Blu-ray. I bought it. You know what I did? You know what I did when they announced the second one? Yeah, I sold that shit. Got dumped. I'm out. I was not thrilled. I was not thrilled at all. Well, I shouldn't say when I found out they announced 2. I should say when they announced 2 and I was stoked for a sequel, and then I realized that, like, it's not just a straight sequel. I was so
I
optimistic.
mean, it's kind of just a straight sequel.
Yeah, but then, like, along with that, I realized that, like, that's when I found out it was tying into all the other garbage.
I think the first one ties in more than
In terms of, like, Thanos and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like,
The
if you
first
don't
one has
know...
Thanos, and the second one doesn't have Thanos. It just has,
Yeah, but the
it's
first
just
one...
like building Nebula's character more.
But the first
That's
one...
really the only thing.
The first one has Thanos, but if you
Introducing
don't know...
Mantis.
If you don't know it's, like, going to tie into all this shit, then it just seems like Thanos is the bad guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, which is definitely not part of this greater Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know?
Did you watch that movie still not thinking it was Marvel?
I mean, yeah.
You made it. You could see the Marvel logo at the front.
No, that's what I said. Like, I think I don't know. I missed it somehow. Or some shit. Like,
Wow.
I do not recall seeing the Marvel logo. Or maybe, again, if I
Man.
did, just my optimism pushed me through, and I just was like, okay, cool. They're publishing like a unique IP.
How
or something.
long until after you finished that movie did it take for you to learn it was Marvel? How many months, weeks, days, years?
Okay, let's see. MCU timeline films. There has to be a list of Marvel Cinematic Universe films. Okay, so what do we got here? This was 2014. I remember I went to see it with some chick. Avengers Age of Ultron. I believe... I mean, I didn't see it. Ant-Man I didn't see. Civil War I didn't see. When would... Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Officially announced in 2014 before the theatrical release. Okay, so I knew there was a second one coming, but... let's see. I'm gonna say, like, at least a year. Maybe 2. Because it premiered in Tokyo on April 10th, 2017. This is the second one. Released in the United States May 2017 as part of Phase 3 of MCU. And I assume at some point in there, like, the phase thing was used, and that's when I, like, looked into it more, and I realized that it was, like, part of this all. So I'd say probably a year, maybe 2, possibly 3.
That's very funny.
I mean, if you're not paying attention to it, and like I thought it was its own thing. And like they weren't. It's not like in the promotional shit for Age of Ultron or like Captain America's Civil War. There was like Guardian of the Galaxy like squad in the previews or posters or anything.
No, I mean, like honestly, Thanos doesn't really come back till they make those final 2 movies when Infinity War comes out.
Okay.
Like he's like, there's like a fucking 1 second like, fine, I'll do it myself at the end of Age of Ultron or whatever. But he's not like in that movie.
And see,
he's more in Guardians than he's. It's really Guardians of the Galaxy is the movie he's in the most.
But see, at that point, like I didn't know who the fuck Thanos was. He's a cool made-up character for this unique IP that they're bringing to the big screen. And that's
he's a knockoff of Darkseid,
dude. And I mean, there was so many of these. And for the rest of these, I think I found out more quickly for some reason. Maybe you know what? Maybe not. Ant-Man, I was not aware was like part of that universe or whatever. Or I still didn't like. I didn't get just how many different things they were bringing together for all of this. So like. Of course, you had Thor and Iron Man and the Avengers and all that shit. But I didn't know because Ant-Man was 2015. Like, I wasn't aware that every goddamn Marvel movie that was coming out was going to be coalescing into this giant thing. I thought they were just doing, like, okay, we have our Iron Man and Thor, and we have our Avengers side of things, and now we're going to do, like, Ant-Man as well, because we're doing good movies now. And then Ant-Man is also just part of this, and then Doctor Strange, of course. We've discussed how they ruined Spider-Man with all the Avengers bullshit. I don't know. Even, like, I think the last one where I stopped lying to myself, very late in the game. I still thought there was hope with Black Panther. Like, I thought it might just be on its own. No. And again, after a couple years, I started putting these pieces together much quicker. But still, hope fucking remains. Maybe, you know.
That's hilarious.
Someday we'll get like a Mr. Miracle trilogy or something, and it'll just be its own trilogy.
DC's been just making... their movies have not really been connecting.
which is
Well,
great.
every attempt, well, all the except like because they tried with Justice League and they did a bad job. So they've currently seemed to have, to whatever extent, given up.
Just ridiculous.
Just like making, although they are trying to build on it with the fucking Birds of Prey movie, I guess. That's like actually a Harley Quinn movie that I guess is trying to set up.
Oh yeah. Oh, they can miss me with that. The only ones I kind of want to see that I would go back to, I think I've maybe mentioned before. Like I do want to catch up on the Thor stuff because like I just find that interesting. Maybe Captain Marvel, but
Captain Marvel's not a great movie.
That one, admittedly, I want to see because a lot of people were upset about what's her name in it. It's kind of out of spite. It's a spite move, I suppose.
Okay.
Hell yeah, bud.
Whatever. Infinity War and Endgame are good.
I mean, there's that part where he's all like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, at the end of Infinity War?
Yeah.
Sure. But there's like parts where they fight Thanos and it's cool.
I mean, I want a recut of either one, really. Either maybe like a what if version where they win in Infinity War, like they defeat Thanos. I really was pulling for the whole Ant-Man goes up Thanos' ass. That shit was hilarious to me.
Well, that was
and
supposed to
continues
happen in Endgame.
I mean, either way, pull out whichever one you want.
I mean, they're making the What If TV show. They could do it.
That would be a top if that. So Black Mirror led with someone fucking a pig. This What If TV series should lead with Ant-Man going up Thanos' ass. That would be fucking amazing.
I don't know.
If they do that, I will go back and watch every single Marvel film I have missed. I would catch up on everything just to appreciate this moment as fully as I possibly could. Oh god, that'd be legendary.
I think the only... Yeah, they haven't like revealed what the plots of all the What Ifs are going to be.
Ant-Man up the butt, dude. I'm there.
It says Josh Brolin is Thanos for one of the cast credits, so...
There you go.
And we've got Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. They're both going to be in it, so...
Fucking confirmed.
I can't believe how many people believed that was what was going to happen.
People actually thought there was like
really
a chance.
bought into that bullshit.
Amazing. That's great.
Like,
fucking unreal.
That was definitely not how that was going to go.
Can you imagine like being part of the creation process for that film, for those films, and being like watching the entire internet be like, what if Ant-Man actually does go in his ass though? Unbelievable.
I mean, imagine being the person who had to animate Ant-Man going up Thanos' butt.
You mean the golden moment of your career? Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't know.
Being on top of the world.
It's not sculpting Dr. Manhattan's CGI penis.
That's an honor. An honor. Oh, the logistics would have been the best part of that discussion. Do you think Manhattan is a grower or a shower? I mean, even for the original like art process.
He's a shower. That's confirmed.
Yeah. I mean, for the comic though, like when they're. Yeah. No, he's on the worst side of that coin. Hashtag growers. Anyway. You know.
Look.
Yeah. No.
Nothing.
Oh, go on.
It's a spoiler. I'm not going to just say it.
A spoiler for what?
The Watchmen TV show.
Ah, okay. I was like, I don't think we've talked about a single thing here so far that I've not spoiled myself on if I haven't already seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing that I both care about and also have not seen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm good to. I'm tapped out for Mr. Miracle stuff, and also would like to. It's not that I don't enjoy doing this, but 2 hours is too much sometimes. Also, admittedly, I did not get to eat before doing this. I thought I could, and then Anya had a meeting, so I was like standing there awkwardly, like holding the bag of granola. I was like holding the bag of granola, and she was just like shaking her head at me, and I was like nodding my head, and then she was shaking her head, and I eventually lost that battle and put my granola away quietly and came in here. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a sad boy.
Tragic. A tragic end to this podcast.
And the yogurt, I've been trying to go a little healthier, so the yogurt is completely unflavored. So I can't just like pound a slug of that. Not comfortably, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of that meta stuff around Mr. Miracle is part of why it's so important to me personally. But I also just think it's a really good comic.
It is.
But like that part where they Jacob and Funky Flashman's version of the story of Galactus presented as like the meaning of life. That's like, that fucking gets me. That's like my favorite shit in the world.
Yeah. And it's a very, I'll say, if anyone is like curious about it, it's a good length. Like it's not bad at all. It's, in that regard, it felt much better than Watchmen.
They were both 12-issue miniseries.
And this one felt much shorter. There's no way they were the same length, dude. There's no way. Watchmen took me forever to finish. I think there's more text in Watchmen. Watchmen has all those segments with like the ghost ship.
Well, Watchmen, yeah, Watchmen had and all that shit in the back. Yeah,
there's like
if you read all that, that's why it would be longer.
Yeah, I think I did most of that.
It's certainly it's a thicker trade for sure.
Yeah. Thick like Big Barda.
Man, Big Barda's so awesome.
She's great. What a good character.
She has this mace. She hits people. Oh, when she says stay, she kicks the shit out of everyone while naked. Oh, so good.
Yeah, bud.
Also, that page of Scott Free tied up in the bed with the Mr. Miracle mask censoring his junk. And him saying, "I can always escape."
Can you? That's very good. Yeah, all right.
That's
do we got any emails?
Do we got any emails?
It's time I remembered.
Probably not. We did record like really recently, and I haven't even put that episode up yet. So yeah, no new emails.
That was a different one. Don't worry about it.
saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email. saltcirclepod on Twitter. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes, various Stitcher, other places where there are podcasts on the internet. I think there's some new Amazon thing. I'm gonna have to see about if I have to do anything to get us on there. And I'm on Twitter @ComicPanels.
I'm on Twitter @Dr_Atheist. Dark Side is